Well, California's homeless crisis clearly spiraling out of control, and the state's liberal governor, Gavin Newsom, is now proposing that medical doctors get involved by writing prescriptions for housing. Listen.
Healthcare and housing can no longer be divorced. After all, what's more fundamental to a person's well-being than a roof over their head? Doctors should be able to write prescriptions for housing the same way they do for insulin and antibiotics.
Well, Housing and Urban Development Secretary Dr. Ben Carson has some ideas about how to fix this pressing problem, and he's been on a bus tour to address homelessness and the lack of affordable housing. He recently visited some of the hardest hit cities, including in California. Secretary Carson joining us now to tell us all about it. First of all, Secretary, what got me about what Gavin Newsom said is that it's not always, the homeless problem is not always about people just not having a home. Sometimes they prefer to live on the streets because of the fact that they have a serious problem that needs to be addressed before they get housing, no?
Absolutely, and harkens me back to the days when I was practicing medicine, and sometimes patients would say, could you write me a prescription for a swimming pool? That would really help out quite a bit.
Yeah, I imagine.
We have to be practical there. But, the fact of the matter is, when you go out there and you look at the faces of those people who are homeless, and you see the desperation, in many cases complete loss of hope, you recognize that you do have to do something, but we have to have the right concept of what compassion is. Compassion is not just leaving them out there on their own in filth where, disease can strike. Can you imagine if one of those people manages to catch the coronavirus, what's going to happen?
Believe me, I thought about that.
It's a frightening thought.
I'm sure a lot of people have. And, it started here in New York. We had a terrible homeless crisis in the 80s. Mayor Giuliani came in and largely dealt with it. I don't think he'll ever completely wipe it out, but he largely dealt with it by providing a lot of options for those on the street. But one of those options was not, and I repeat, not allowing them to use the street as their bedroom and bathroom.
Exactly.
Partly for their sake, but also for the public safety's sake.
Well, just look at at the border where people are taken in, and they're given a clean bed in a sprung structure. They have access to showers. They have bathroom facilities. They have basic medical care taken care of. If we can do that at the border, we can certainly do that in our cities. But we have to add something to it. There are a lot of people who talk about housing first. And housing first is a good concept in the sense that it costs less to get people off the street than to leave them on the street. Mm-hmm. But if you want to be compassionate, you have to combine it with housing second and third. Housing second means you diagnose the reason they're on the street.
Right.
Is it because of drug addiction? Is it because of mental illness? Is it just because of bad luck? What is the problem? And then housing third is you fix it. Otherwise, you just have an ever-expanding group of people. And just to throw money at it doesn't work. You can take two paths. You can say, let's just chase this with more money and more vouchers and more things. Or you can say, let's figure out why the cost is so extreme in places like California and tackle it at that level. That's the way doctors do things. We go for the real cause of the disease and not just treat the symptoms.
Well, and Rudy Giuliani did what he did while he was cutting the budget, not adding to it. This mayor that we have, Mayor de Blasio, has increased the budget about 30%, and the homeless crisis has gotten much worse than it was before. So sometimes money can have the opposite effect.
Absolutely. And I will say, I have been talking to Mayor Garcetti. I think he really does want to get this fixed. Catherine Barger, the county executive. And I've talked to the governor, and he does have times when he is very rational and talks about things in a reasonable way. And we've all agreed that we want to look at the facts. Let's look at the evidence and not let it be driven by ideology. If we can not be driven by ideology and work with the data, there's no question that we can solve this problem.
One thing that Giuliani did here in New York was he sent the police out saying that staying on the street was not an option, but he also sent with the police a social worker who was there to evaluate the individuals who are on the street and find out what their problem was. If it was just a job, they'd find that person a job. If it was a drug addiction or an alcohol problem, they would send a person to a shelter that would deal with that problem. So you have a two-pronged approach. One, to tell them that staying on the street was not an option, and two, to get them into the kind of place that would help them become citizens who could live on their own.
That's what we have to start thinking about. We also have to think about the rest of the population. If we continue to allow cesspools to develop, eventually you're going to have an epidemic, and everybody's going to be looking back and saying, why didn't you do something about it?
On the other hand, Doctor, you look at what's happening in San Francisco, and they just don't seem to get it. I mean, the amount of filth on the street, and you mentioned the coronavirus. I can think of a number of other diseases. In fact, cholera was spotted in Los Angeles, where there was a homeless encampment, and they continue to allow people to live in the street as though that was a viable option. Why can't they figure that out?
And what they should do, obviously, is say, what if that was my son or my daughter or my mother or my father? Is that what I would want for them? Would I want them to just be out there? I don't think most people would do that. They would actually become very active in trying to alleviate that situation. That's
a great way of looking at it. You don't want a member of your family, you don't want to enable them to stay in a bad situation. You want to help them get out of that situation. So, well, I wish you the best of luck. It's a problem all over the United States, from West Coast to East Coast, and a lot of places in between. Our prayers are with you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.